What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're going to be talking about Laroi. I know it's been a couple weeks since we've talked about him, but he's finally said a little bit more about the First Time album. We're going to dive into all that. Before we do start, though, we're on the road to 50,000 subs, so if you guys are new here, please drop a sub. It'll help out the channel a lot. And with that being said, let's get started. As always, I got to give a shout out to the Kid LAROI Hub for posting everything that Laroi deletes on Twitter. But we're basically just going to pick up where we last left off from, which I'm honestly pretty sure this tweet and the time Laroi was working in the studio at the end of October was probably the last time I made a vid on the First Time album. Well, since then, Laroi started teasing another snippet, Can We Find Love Again, or Love Again. He's also been a little more active on social media, I would say, than we've seen him be in the past. He's posted just working in the studio. He was seen in the studio actually with Midwest, and then as you can see, Laroi literally just posted a picture of the studio he's working in, saying that he's trying to finish the album. And then Laroi, first off, a couple days ago, went on Twitter to say that he's sorry for the lack of communication and info regarding the project, but he's basically just saying thank you for being patient. Well, and then after that, Laroi ended up confirming that he's made around 400 songs or ideas for this project the first time, and you know, probably the various different stages it went through, like the kids are growing up. Well, Laroi confirms that he has a release date, and that is what he's going to be doing. Currently, he's just rounding up and finishing the track list. So honestly, where it sounds like we're sitting at for a couple things, I think the release date for this album is most likely going to be early 2023. Whether that's spring or summer, I'm not too sure. And as for stuff like what just happened, I don't know if Laroi even wants to put that song out anymore. I don't know what happened to Guess It's Love. He seriously has just went silent on all those. We haven't got a new song from Laroi since 1,000 Miles earlier this year, which I'm also pretty sure that's the only song that Laroi himself released this year. But hopping over to Laroi on Twitter, he actually responded to the Kid LAROI updates about a day or two ago. After Laroi updates posted that Savage had released 2 years ago, Laroi says the first time is better. This is something that obviously every artist is going to try and say, that their newest project is better than the last. I just thought this was notable because Laroi's not really that active when it comes to talking about this album. This is one of the few times you'll see him tweet and leave it up about the first time. I'm pretty much aware that a lot of people are really annoyed by the fact that this album has either gotten delayed, we haven't gotten any singles, whatever that fact it might be. I know people are upset that Laroi hasn't released, and if I'm being quite honest, I am too. Don't get me wrong, I think he should take as much time as he needs to get the album. I'm gonna be excited for it and waiting for it whenever we do get it, but man, the wait just feels really long. I didn't think we would go this long without a Laroi project. It sounds like from what Laroi is telling us, though, it's obviously going to be worth the wait, and I really don't have any doubt in my mind that the project won't be good. I'm just kind of a little confused to why we're not getting any music. Like I said earlier in the video, the last time Laroi dropped himself was 1,000 Miles. I don't know what happened to Guess It's Love that had a finished music video. Laroi said he was going to be finishing What Just Happened and filming a video and dropping that. I haven't seen anything about that since he said that. Not to mention there's tons of just other snippets that the fans would love for him to drop. I mean, I'm sure Laroi's sitting on a few songs that he's comfortable with releasing. I mean, he has to be. He hasn't released any music this year. So while I'm not gonna hate on Laroi for taking this long, because I understand he wants this album to be good, it's his debut album, but man, not dropping any singles or anything, this is what honestly kind of killed some of the Ian calm, was when Ian took over 2 years to drop his second album, OTBT. It was just endless waiting and waiting and waiting. People just got bored, and whether they stopped listening to Ian, for example, or not, it definitely just doesn't make the fan base happy when all you do is constantly wait and you're not really getting any updates. If anything, how Laroi's kind of been running social media lately is exactly what Ian has done from 2020 to now, I would say. It's just not really being active, giving us a single once in a while, and then we eventually get the album and then Ian just disappeared again. I'm not saying Laroi's gonna do that, but I don't know, just from what I've seen following artists like this closely, this is something that really kind of annoys the fan base. But let me know what you guys think. Are you kind of annoyed for waiting for this album? Are you still excited? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.